Boys and girls, we have a new student in our class today, and his name is Scrubby. Let's sing our opening song for him. Ready? Why the fuck aren't you vegan yet? What the fuck is taking you so long? Instead of playing video games all day long, get your priorities straight and be vegan from now on. Yeah! Scrubby, it's so great to see you. Now remember, the assignment was that you were supposed to be watching Dairy is Scary by Aaron Janus. This is just a 5-minute and 40-second video, right? So let's see if you did your evaluation or not. We're going to be watching her video, and I'm going to be taking notes to see if you talked about these things in your speech. Okay, so let's go. Here, we're going to have a look at Aaron's speech.
Okay guys, so since everyone's so busy these days, I'm gonna explain to you how the dairy industry works in 5 minutes. Like other female mammals, cows only lactate, or produce milk, when they're pregnant or have a newborn to feed. So the dairy industry inseminates or impregnates cows starting at the age of around 12 months over and over and over again so they keep making milk. And it's a rather routine process. You see, first the industry jacks off a bunch of bulls, sometimes using a hand or help from an electro-ejaculator, which is basically a giant cow dildo that goes into the anus of the bull until he blows. And that's...
Oh, I don't think you talked about that, did you, Scrubby? Okay, so you missed that point. Don't forget next time to talk about all of the dairy industry, starting with the males and what they do. So let's keep watching.
Semen is collected and then inserted into the vagina of a female cow with a long tube, usually while she's confined in what the industry calls a rape rack.
I don't think you talked about the rape racks either, so that's another X for you.
And sometimes they put their fist right into the anus of the female cow, you know, to loosen the area.
To make the process as effective as possible.
What are you feeling for in there when you... Oh, it's a bit jumpy. I think I would be if someone did that to me.
He's bringing it out. He massages a little bit just to relax it. I think you forgot to talk about bestiality as well. You know, you did have some violence in your video. You were holding, I think it was a knife or a gun at a certain point. You know, close, but really you were supposed to talk about bestiality and what happens to the animals. So let's give you another X for that. Everything and help that semen go where it needs to go.
He must be responsible for a lot of calves.
Yes.
And when that baby cow is born, it's pretty much immediately taken away from its mother and locked in a crate. Because
oh, did you talk about kidnapping of animals in your video? I think you forgot. It's another X there.
if it stayed around mom, it would drink her milk. And that shit's for us. And you see, a mother cow's bond with her young is very strong and affectionate, and she sometimes cries out for days in search of her baby.
Did you talk about compassion for moms whose babies are stolen? Did you talk about the mother cows at all? Or any women who are in distress? I don't think so. It's another X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far you have 5 X's. Oh, I forgot though. I do have to give you 1 check mark because you did try. That's important. You did do an oral presentation. So at least there's that.
But nobody gives a shit. If the baby's a male, his throat is slit and he's sold for veal. And if it's a girl, she's raised to be a milk machine like mom. So dairy cows are continuously, repeatedly kept pregnant their whole lives to keep them lactating. This leads to premature aging, exhaustion, and mastitis, a painful yet common condition in dairy cows, which is inflammation and sometimes infection of the udder. Pus and blood in the milk of dairy cows is also...
I don't think you talked about mastitis. Mastitis is an important thing. That was in the criteria. Scrubby, get an X there. We're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're up to 6 X's already. Let's hope that you catch up.
So common, so it's usually filtered, but not completely, because in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, up to 400,000 somatic cells are legally allowed in every milliliter of cow's milk, and in the United States, 750,000 somatic cells per milliliter. In Brazil, 1 million, and somatic cells, most of which in this case are white blood cells, are the same thing that erupt on the top of a big zit, so you could call it pus. The more bacteria, inflammation, and infection, the higher the somatic cell count. But don't...
Did you talk about the somatic cell count? Did you talk about the white blood cells? I don't think so. I don't think you talked about the pus that's in milk.
Don't worry, there's a limit. And when a dairy cow is finally too physically and emotionally exhausted to continue on, she collapses. These cows are called downers, and they are dragged out by whatever means to be killed and sold for beef. It's common in the industry, even on organic dairy farms, for cows to go down after about 4 or 5 years of continuous milk production.
Did you talk about how badly the females are treated in this industry? How they're dragged away like that and murdered before they are even completely reached even close to the age that they would normally? Did you talk about that? Did you talk about the cows at all? Not sure that you did. Let me just think for a second. No, I know I saw you blasting a lot of things in your video. I know I saw you making fun of vegans, but I didn't really see anything compassionate about the animals, so I have to give you an X for that.
But peak milk production declines around 4 to 5 years anyways, so if the dairy cows are still standing, they're gonna be killed for hamburgers and beef regardless. You see, the dairy industry is the meat industry. Almost every single dairy cow that you will ever buy milk that came from ends up being killed for meat. So if you're vegetarian, you might want to think about this, because at least when you're being raised for meat, you're just raised for meat and killed. But when you're a dairy cow, you are sexually exploited and emotionally and physically exhausted until you can't take it anymore, and then you're killed for meat. Sounds worse to me.
So, did you talk about how terrible it is to be vegetarian? You know, a lot of people think that being vegetarian is okay because they are not harming animals, not paying into the cycles of violence and murder. But in fact, what we have learned from this, and if you had paid attention, you would have known, it is not okay to be vegetarian. Being vegetarian means that you're still paying the murderer. So that's not okay, right? Okay, Scrubby, you get it? All right, good. Glad you're listening.
And the natural lifespan of a cow...
You know what? I'm going to give you 1 point just for listening because I see you there and you are paying attention. So I'm going to give you a check mark for that. All right? Good. Okay, stop picking your nose though. Okay, don't pick your nose right now because this is important. This is your evaluation. Sit straight. Good boy.
That hasn't been completely exploited, 20 to 25 years, y'all. And as far as the calcium and protein thing goes, study after study after study has shown that those consuming the highest quantities of dairy actually have the highest cases of bone fracture and osteoporosis. And there are dozens of amazing plant-based sources of calcium.
Did you talk about osteoporosis? Just think for a sec. I don't think so. Nope, you didn't do that. That's an X there. But now you know, right? You know what osteoporosis is? Were you paying attention? Did you see this chart here? Look at all these different things. Look at all these wonderful, healthy vegan foods. Look at that list. Tell me, which ones have you ever eaten before in your life? Scrubby, which ones? Have you ever eaten broccoli? You did? That's amazing. I'm going to give you a check mark then. That's great. Did you ever eat an avocado? Oh, that's fantastic. Another check mark. These are vegan foods. Good job. Oh, your check marks are catching up. Wait, let's stay here because this seems to be a good one. Wait. Have you ever had onions? You did? Good job. That's another check mark. So you've eaten a lot of vegan foods. So you actually are on the way to becoming vegan. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm so proud of you. Let's keep learning, okay?
And protein, so you really don't need to suck the tits of a cow. I mean, the dairy industry has wormed their way into education systems, nutritional programs, and media.
Let's just go over that again. So should you suck the tits of a cow? Yes or no? What's that? That's right, you shouldn't. So whose tits should you suck, Scrubby? Sorry? Exactly. Someone who gives you consent. An adult who gives you consent. You can suck on a male's tits, you can suck on a female's tits, or somebody in between called them. It's all fine, as long as there's consent and long as that person's an adult, all right? We don't do that to animals because they're too young to give consent because they have the mentality of a child. So We never, ever touch animals in that kind of way. Okay, we're always kind to them, right? You know what? I see you nodding your head, so I'm going to give you a check mark. Scrubby, you're turning out to be a pretty good student.
To convince us that we need to drink milk. But when you're in school learning about how good milk is for you, that's not because there was a panel of people who care about your health that determined that. That's because the dairy industry paid lots of money for you and your children to hear that message in school, and on TV, and on billboards, and magazines, and for your doctors who don't have to take more than a few hours of a nutrition course to tell you to drink your milk. You see, rhino milk is for baby rhinos. Dog's milk is for baby dogs. Cat's milk for baby cats. Rat milk is for baby rats. And cow's milk is for humans? No, it's for baby cows. And vegans are crazy? Dairy is fucking scary.
What is dairy? What is it? Dairy is scary. That's right, Scrubby. Good job. Dairy is scary, Scrubby. It all rhymes. That's great. So right now you're catching up. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 check marks. And your X's are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, wait, let me recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 9. All right. Okay. Now let's listen. You know, I think you've seen enough. You know, you can go back and do this report again. You can do your oral presentation again, Scrubby. And let me sing you the Happy Vegan Declaration Day song because, you know, it won't be long that you can become vegan. You know, it takes 100 clicks until you're vegan. So this is one step along the way. I think you've learned something today. You've showed a little bit of interest. You're paying attention, and that's great. So when it becomes your Happy Vegan Declaration Day, Scrubby, then you can sing this song. Okay, so I don't know when yours will be. It might not be tomorrow. I really doubt that. But, you know, it could be in 100 days if every single day you watch these important documentaries, and then you can become vegan, and then you can become an animal rights activist, and then you can do some good in the world instead of just talking about violence and being mean on your channel. Okay? Let's sing together, boys and girls, and everyone called them. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Whether you've been vegan for a lifetime or just a minute, welcome to the club. We're so glad you're in it. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Everywhere around the world, animals are lining up to thank you for your compassion and for allowing your heart to open up. Scrubby, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy that you are going to be subscribing to this channel, and all of your friends will subscribe too, because we're going to be doing a lot more oral presentations. I can evaluate all of your friends. They just have to let me know about their video, and that will be fantastic. We're all going to learn a lot about the meat industry, the dairy industry, the egg industry, and we're all going to make this world happy and vegan from now on. Thank you so much for your presentation. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe and hit that that bell button there, because we want to make sure that we all stay together and become friends, right? And we're also going to save the planet, by the way, because eating less animals, being vegan, is the best to reduce our carbon footprint. So everybody wins. Okay, bye for now.